with our topic. So we have here an example of the three separate files that involves variables being called by other files. So for the extern one, as you can see here, we have value 1, value 2, sum, and product. Okay, and for the procedure, we have the main procedure. So in the main procedure, it's calling a subprogram 1, which is a procedure not declared within this file. So it make also use of the subprogram 2, which is not in this particular file. So for you to be able to refer to this, it has to be made public. So under the subprogram, so extern 2, we have here the subprogram 1, so it doesn't have any data segment. In extern 3, it doesn't have any data segment, and it has a code segment which has the subprogram 2. So that means this subprogram 1 must be declared public. So we have here the subprogram 1, okay, subprogram 1 declared as public, and at the same time it has to be referred as an external subprogram of the extern 1.asm. Okay, so since it's calling subprogram 2, so subprogram 2 must be made public. So this is subprogram 2, it has to be made public, okay, subprogram 2, and has to be referred in the calling file, okay, or calling function. Okay, now so far so good. Now in this case, so under the subprogram 1, okay, it calls, so since it doesn't have any data segment, however it has a memory location for the variable value 1 and value 2. So that means it has to be referred externally of the extern 2. So in this case, value 1 and value 2 is in the extern 1.asm. Okay, so we have the value 1 and value 2 declared in the first file. So what do we have to do? It has to be made public. So here is the value 1 and the value 2 made public. Okay, and also at the same time, so these are all register movement. So still here we have the variable or memory location sum, which is not declared here because it doesn't have any data segment. So which means it is being referred to from the other file. So in this case, it is in the extern 1, so it has to be, so this sum is here, it has to be made public. Okay, so far no more other undefined variables here. So in the subprogram 2, so since the subprogram 2 is being called in the main function, okay, by the extern 1.asm, this subprogram 2 must be made public. Okay, so within the subprogram 1, again, it also makes use of the value 1. So this is already declared as public, so therefore it has to be you have to refer to that. So it is coming from the external file value 1 and value 2 and the product. So same goes also with the value 1, value 2 and sum from the subprogram 1. Okay, so here's the product. It is not declared, so therefore it has to be referred from the other program. Okay, so here's the file. So we have here the subprogram 1. So we have here all the variables. We have the extern 2, okay, and of course the extern 3. So the extern 3, which include the subprogram 1. So as you can see, we have we all have that here, okay, and this one. Okay, so now the question there is, how are we going to make this all connected? So that's the keyword. So you have to link them all in one particular file. So in this case, you have to decide which one will be your executable program. So what do I mean by that? So it is the one that you have to, so it is the the calling function. So in this case, which one is the calling function? So the calling function is the main function, which is declared and defined in the extern one. So however, so the first step you have to do is to make all of this file an object. Okay, so extern1.asa must be an extern1.obj, extern.2 must have an extern2.obj, and extern3.asa must have a extern3obj. So how do we do that? So we have to, of course, check if there's any error. So we have to assemble. So tasam extern1. Okay, so as you can see, it will create an object file. Of course, we've done this before. So we have here extern2. Okay, extern. Why it doesn't have? So wrong spelling. So that is, we have extern2. Okay, so no error, which means object is created, and also extern3. So no error, which means objects are created. And then we can link them all together by doing link. So whichever is the executable file. So in this case, the external one is the calling function. So that means we have to make it the exe file. So extern one object file plus the extern2 object file plus the extern3 object file. Oops, I forgot the semicolon. So it doesn't have any error or any warning or whatsoever. Then we can now proceed with the extern. So since it doesn't have any move AX, we will not be able to see any output here. So as you can see, it doesn't have any error. So all the files are what do you call this? Declared. So say for example, just for example, I remove the product here. So since I changed this, so I have to save it and then do the tasam extern one. Okay, so it creates a new one and then perform the link. Okay, so as you can see, it produces an error. So what is that error? Unresolved externals. So which means, what does it mean? It means that so this particular value in the extern3 is not made public. So the product is not made public. So unresolved and public. Okay. So question. Say for example, I would like to, in extern1, I would like to call a display. So I have here call display. Okay, and I made it available in the, so here I have the display procedure for, okay, so what do we have here? So move AX, so I have move AX, move AH for CH, and the interrupt 21H. Okay, so load effective address TX, whatever the message, say for example, and then interrupt 21H. So of course we have here the display, and P. Okay, so what do I have to do? So question, what do I have to do first? Okay, so I have to make it public. So that means I have to make it public. This public, so I can have this display. Okay, and whichever program or whichever code who would like to call this, it has to be extern. So in this case, I have to extern. Sub, so we have here display. Okay, that is far. Okay, so what will be another, I have another question. So will this be enough? So as you can see here, we have this given. Okay. So do you still think there's an error here? Do you still think there's an error? And what will that be? Okay, so what do you think? So yes, there's still, it has to be the